Folks, when I am forgetting to do the off-camera thing that I wanted to do until 1 hour before stream, and I am low on energy, I like to enjoy a little bit of caffeine. And to do that, I use Dr. Pepper, especially the kind in the 2-liter bottles that apparently turns to slush in your refrigerator. That was really weird when I found that out and I went to get a drink earlier. Like, it just, apparently you leave it undisturbed for 12 hours, it freezes into a slushy at 39 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 3 1/3 degrees Celsius. For those of you who don't know, Fahrenheit and Celsius, a lot of people are like, oh, well, Fahrenheit doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And, I mean, yes, but there is actually an explanation for it. I mean, something can be explicable without being sensible, right? That's a thing that we can all sort of accept as being really weird, but certainly real. So, Fahrenheit, the reason why it's 32 degrees for the freezing point of water is because the person who was developing it was working not with pure water, but with brine. They were working with salt water. Maybe they were trying to see, like, I guess the freezing point of seawater or something like that. Probably be something vaguely related. I don't know. Either way, so that freezes at 0 degrees on the Fahrenheit meter, and the boiling point of water is at 212 because 180 degrees is a half circle to turn around completely, to completely reverse your direction, which would probably make sense as a conversion from ice to steam. 180 degrees. Still doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? Well, whatever. Just a sec. I really should be in the folding chair, but too bad. We're doing it this way. Anywho, I did go ahead and grind up to the tank bot glove off camera. So I'm going to demo that real quick because the tank bot glove is actually pretty interesting as a weapon. Let's go ahead and equip it, I guess. And you can see the main difference in the model is that it's red, so that means it goes 3 times faster. But more importantly, the circle button still causes it to explode. But here it's got a machine gun and it's got a little bomb launcher. This is actually kind of legit. Unfortunately, there's still the problem of you've got to be operating from a place of safety to be able to actually use it. And if you collide with something wrong, you're going to explode. But hey, we're not going to use that. Don't be silly. Why would we want to torture ourselves? Oh, right. Well, okay, why would we want to torture ourselves in that way, I guess is the better question. Let me take a look at this. Oh, I don't have any mods for it. Oops. Excuse me. Okay, it is on our wheel. Before I go any further, let me go ahead and activate the vendor, and we're going to spend our money on that shield charger. The shield charger is a pretty good piece of equipment. You can't get ammo from it from boxes, unfortunately, and it costs 100 a shot. Not unlike our old friend, the Synthanoids. However, this is a much more defensively oriented piece of gear. And in fact, we're going to finally replace the swing shot. You might be saying, why the Sheepinator? You never use that, and you're correct. I'll replace it once I finally upgrade it. And yeah, you can see what the shield charger does. It gives you a shield. However, you can also deal damage to people by just headbutting them with the shield charger. It upgrades eventually to the Tesla barrier, which is a slightly... You know, nowadays we're at a point where anything named Tesla anything is going to be very unfortunately named, huh? And before somebody gets mad at me for saying that, well, I don't give a shit about your feelings if that's you. I thought facts didn't care about your feelings, bro. Anyway, the Tesla barrier just has a longer reach of where it can shock things. Can't even get a shock mod. I don't think you can get an acid mod for it either, which is kind of a shame, but hey, it's still a pretty solid piece of utility gear. And it allows us... it helps us out in doing stupid things like bull rushing 3 tanks. Although leveling it up is probably going to be pretty hard because, as you might guess, it gains levels based on kills, and we're going to want to use our actual weapons for a lot of that because the damage output from the shield charger, like, it does hits pretty fast, but it's not exactly a powerhouse weapon. But hey, a little bit of defense never hurt anybody, and it's a lot cheaper than armor. Not so much in the long run, but, you know, we'll be able to afford that armor eventually. Probably. A lot of guys in this part of town, huh? Oh god, there's one of those things too. Jeez, man. We're up against it. We are not in a great position right now. Can we get on top of this? Well, I won't be able to find out if I keep getting shot in the middle of my jumps. Fuck, the range on this thing is absurd. Our best bet really is just to get in as close as possible, isn't it? Yeah, see, we're getting an auto-lock, so at least there's that going for us. Okay, it's decently soft, so points there, I suppose. Oh. We're in a gauntlet. I think it's meteor gun time, because this might be our best bet here, for the time being. If I can ever... I was going to say, if the enemies ever want to spawn in. Neat. Oh, good whiff. Even better whiff. By whiff, I mean I didn't kill the damn thing. Well. Come on. Is there some ammunition around here? Please. Please, please, please. There we go. That's better. Better-ish. Alright, well this time the dude's popped in like immediately, so that's nice. I guess. Oh.
What's so funny? Nothing, I guess. Prepare to die!
Nice and straightforward. Anyway. It is boss time, and oh, this boss sucks. In addition to the fact that he screams at you constantly while gunning you down heavily. The best way to fight this dude is to get in this turret and shoot at his robot constantly. Which means that he's going to throw these missiles at you. And each turret only lasts so long, so once this one gets blowed up, because he is going to specifically explode it himself with an attack in a minute or so, i.e. once we do enough damage to him. At least I think it's tied to his health. We're gonna have to go find another one. So, hey, everybody loves turret sections in these kind of games, right? Oh, what's that? No, they don't? They're the worst thing ever? Or nearly so? Well, you know, shoutouts to Insomniac, if nothing else, for making giant robots not cool. Or a giant robot fight, anyway. Like, good job, guys. I'm glad you're all evil bastards. Something reiterating that thing about cornering Ted Price in Dark Alley. Except this time I'm only marginally more serious about it. Because obviously, you know, it's intended as a joke. I don't want anybody who's on the Twitch moderation team and, I don't know, too stupid to understand that. But on the other hand, I do want to know what this team was thinking with this. I suppose at bare minimum, it's not like hard. But it is still kind of terrible, you know? Well, that hurts, but that's okay. Go between his legs. Amazing how he doesn't even try to stomp at me. Oh, I didn't dodge fast enough. Crud. Meanwhile, I'm just like, I don't remember where half the turrets are on this level. Why would I remember? I only barely remembered that this was a turret boss before I started the stream. And then I realized that I'm like, oh god, this is maybe actually the worst part of the game. Hey, Razumaki, how are you? This evening, there we go. We'll be a little more specific. How are you this evening? Well, it's evening over here. Good morning. Oh, yeah. So it's got to be like very early for you. That's we'll keep it short and just say very early. Hope you're doing all right. Yeah.
You want something funny?
That is absolutely very, very early. Or usually for me, it's more like very late, but eh. I'm not here to talk about my sleeping schedule. Like I said, hope you're doing alright. What do you mean, why don't I stay still? I'm literally doing that right now. This guy's losing it a little bit, clearly. Then again, with that big mech down to half HP, maybe I'd be a little upset too. Oh, who am I kidding? I definitely would. Okay, so when he throws the ship car at us, I think we can shoot it out of the air. And we can keep our turret for a little while longer. Doing well. Glad to hear it. I'm doing pretty good, too. Oh, look out.
You can run, but you can't hide. I'm coming to get you, Ratchet. Here I come.
Big guy's got the meteor gun shots at us.
Watch this.
And that's not helpful.
After I'm done with you, I'm gonna take care of your little girlfriend.
Alright, so here's another turret. I don't remember how many more there are in the level, but by the way, for those of you who are wondering, you can actually do some damage to them with your weapons other than the turret, but it is very little. Yeah, I mean, that would definitely help. I guess if I didn't buy any gear for a good part of the game, I could probably get fairly close to affording it by now.
Stay still.
Alright, see, this attack doesn't hurt you when he blows up the turret, so that's fine.
Get ready to feel the pain. 3, 5, 4, 5. I'm gonna crush you like a little bug.
At least he's got a lot of dialogue if he's going to be this talkative. Give him credit there. They wanted to make sure this wouldn't get too badly on your nerves of, like, the guy saying the same thing over and over too much. I mean, he still does, but, like... Hell, at least it's not too bad. There's a fair amount of variety, is what I'm saying.
3, 5, 4, 5. I'm gonna crush you like a little bug.
Yeah, relative to the era, we'll say this. It feels like it's better than the narrator of Darkest Dungeon is accounting for the difference in release date. Like, I wouldn't expect a ton out of a game from 2003 like this. I think this was 2003. It was approximately 2003. I might have the numbers slightly off because goodness knows I don't have a great memory. But, you know, every time I see somebody doing a campaign of Darkest Dungeon and I hear the narrator repeat a line in the span of a single dungeon, I just feel like, wow, they really need to beef that up a little bit. On the other hand, that's like the main thing that I would complain about Darkest Dungeon. I think. I own it, I still haven't played Darkest Dungeon yet. It might play absolutely terribly, but it looks fun from what I've seen on streams, so... Again, with that, in as much as those type of roguelike mechanics can be, which usually, that's not too big of an issue. I like quite a few of those sort of genre mashup roguelikes. Rest in peace to Risk of Rain 2, though. The IP has just been purchased fully by Gearbox. They're no longer just a publisher. And admittedly, I am being very over the top when I say that it's over, but I don't have the most positive feelings about Gearbox just on a corporate level. The games they make are usually not too bad, but definitely possessed of some greed, we'll say that. And Randy Pitchford's just kind of an asshole. But again, how many of you folks are here for me to talk about that instead of this? Unfortunately, this is just a boss fight where we're in a turret, so there's not a ton to talk about. Hey, we got him. There was still an extra one left.
Okay, Clank. Great. Let's go.
Hello? Aren't you forgetting someone?
Oops. Oh, I meant after we free Angela.
Oh, we thought you got away.
Now, before you run off, take a look at this. I picked it out of Lizard Boy's pocket.
Log entry 4792. Returning from Megacorp's distribution center. I'm beginning to suspect that Megacorp has lied to me. The extra-large decorative paperweights being stored there might actually be an enormous supply of protopets. Which might explain why the whole facility is guarded by ravenous mutant creatures. Their warehouse ship may hold as many as 10 million crates, and with 100 protopets per crate, that could be as many as, 3.5 zillion protopets.
That's a lot of protopets.
That large can only mean one thing. Megacorp is up to no good. I will confront them as soon as possible and demand a bigger cut of the action.
What a guy.
Are they insane?
The
Yes.
galaxy is in far more danger than I had imagined. Do you suppose, Mr. Fizzwidget?
We've wasted enough time on Fizzwidget already. I swear that crazy old man is not the same person I used to work for.
Whoa. You used to work for Megacorp?
Yes, in the genetics division.
On the protopet?
On fixing the protopet's flaws. And I was this close to succeeding when Fizzwidget suddenly pushed up their release date.
Is it worth disrupting the protopet shipments?
It's a start. But to stop them for good, we're gonna need to break into Megacorp headquarters.
Break in? How?
I have an old Megacorp ID on my home planet.
We'll split up then. Clank and I will go to the distribution facility. You go grab the ID.
Just gotta hurl another ship at it. In fact, I'm sure that we could just crash our own ship into... It was given to us by Megacorp, so the irony would be great. But more importantly, we're stocking up on ammunition, and we've got some side stuff to do before we go explore planet Smolg there. What a name. I want to take a look and see if there's any achievements, any skill points for that place. Old school, I think, is just to clear out the area using the old weapons. Don't remember for sure. Prehistoric rampage, don't remember. Moving violation, I think, is to shoot down some of the flying ships in the area. I don't remember if there's specific requirements for that, though. Wrench Ninja 2 Massacre, we gotta do that. Try to sleep. That involves doing something with the Sheepinator, but I forget if it's like the big rivet bot or what. So yeah, nothing big to worry about on that planet, but we are going to go and engage with some other parts of... We're going to go do the other ship stuff, at least the other ship battles on Gorn in a second, and then we're going to do... well, we're going to do this first. We're going to go get the thing on Dobo that requires the spider bot.
See if you can find any more news on the protopets.
And now, Behind the Hero brings you the conclusion of our series on Captain Quark. As of this airing, the fugitive superhero has been missing for almost 6 weeks. Did he die heroically? Was he the victim of an overzealous fan? Or is he still out there somewhere? The galaxy may never know, but stay tuned for more baseless speculation and crackpot theories on Behind the Hero.
Nice.
Well, no more Quark.
Good. It is almost time for RoboChef.
What do you think robots eat? Well, we've seen one in that advertisement with a big steel turkey. So there's that at least. Oh yeah, now we're cooking with getting easy money. In order to help ourselves out here with leveling up the Sheepinator, let's do this. Let's start using it on this level. Oh boy, these guys are actually pretty durable against it, so it might be pretty tough. But we're gonna try, dang it. Fuck. Double fuck. Alright, get between salvos. There we go. That's better. Oh, right, I forgot to buy ammunition for the meteor gun. I forgot that I used it. Probably because it's very unusual for me to use a weapon that is fully evolved until I've done that with all of my gear. And yeah, we're eating a lot of damage here, by the way, but we're pretty tanky right now, at least for dealing with these dudes. So I think we can get away with it. If I can stop getting flinched in the middle of my attack patterns, I may have to just give up on that one for, at least for this set of enemies. Or we let that dude get shot. Alright, get up here. Try that. Wow, alright. Alright, dude, okay, I get it. Said I get it. And now you're gonna get it. All you had to do was go along quietly. But then... now I have to take out the 100 bolt shield charger. Charge. I hear some chickens down there. They're probably going to get completely laid out by the shield charger. Like, if any of them get near me, they're just going to die. Yeah. Actually, they're taking 2 hits each. So I admit that I've long suspected that for the chicken bots, the advanced ones anyway, that they require at least 2 hits. But I also usually approach them with some of my weaker weaponry because, like, come on. Why not, right? Seems like a good way to get some experience and or save your better stuff for later on in your adventure. So we're at the bottom of the area where we can actually get the thing I was talking about earlier that we came here for. So at least there's that going for us. Right. Comes out here, I guess. something. Or it's set up to look like it comes out here. Music goes around and around and it comes out here. Right. Not the Terminator. That wouldn't be very useful here. That thing, however. Oh. That works. Okay, so here is where we take out the tank bot, and we aim on the ground first to be able to actually deploy it. I think we go this way? Yes, and that lets us hit that thing. Now, back we go. Oh, don't vault yourself off the cliff. You'll feel real stupid for that. Get ready, everybody. Wait. And there it is. There's our platinum bolt. And there's a terrible camera angle. Alright, so while we're here, we already beat the hell out of the Thugs for Less leader. Let's go and humiliate him again by fighting him with just our fists. As Clank, of course. Boy, I can't wait for later games when we get our multiple quick select wheels. Because then I can have a place to put all the gadgets. And I don't have to flash the pause menu as much. Alright, now we fight the Thug Leader on Lunar City. For some reason, he's still there. I don't know what's up with that, but it is what it is.
You want a piece of me? Bring it on. Grab your ankles, kiss your furry backpack goodbye. Damn.
And yeah, going into the camera is not really the cleverest thing anybody's ever done, but yeah, don't worry. This looks like we're getting our head handed to us. We'll be able to recover. Press only X and square. By that I mean we're pretty much just pressing square to move, even. Like, okay, I'm tipping the stick left and right occasionally, but that's about it. You want to keep sending these helichoppers at us? We can take them down with relative ease. And get ourselves some health in the process. Oh man, those things don't really do much damage, huh? Get back here, man. There we go. Give the Thug Leader a fisting of a lifetime. Yep. Dump the big fireballs. Turn around. Get him. There we go.
You want a piece of me? Bring it on.
Alright, stop being so avoidant. Come on.
Ex-wife always told me I had a short temper. Now, really bad.
Oh yeah? What are you gonna do about it? You gonna keep running away? I mean, obviously, I think the AI kind of knows, at least to some extent, what I'm doing. I'd like to hope that the AI can learn anyway, but, you can see how well it's doing there. Okay, now he's being kind of a pain in the butt. This is where it gets to be a real skill thing, I guess, because now I'm being offered a bit of a challenge anyway. Mostly to keep up with him. I guess part of it is also that, like, most of the city is gone, so an ambush isn't really a thing that can happen, right? Oh. There we go. He finally hit me. Now he's just still running away. Can't hit those buttons. I gotta just punch him to death. I'm actually tempted to try to let him come closer to me. There we... Hey, buddy. Come on. There we go. Alright, dude. Come on. I'm waiting on you. I should probably deal with some of these helichoppers. Helichopters. Give me your health. Healthachopters. There we go. I was going to say, he's out of missiles, but he backed straight into some more missile ammo. Let me try just walking at him and see if, like, menacing him with my fists is a bad idea or something, basically. God, there's so many of these helicopters. Alright. Refresh our combo. And there we go. We'll do this again. Screw that up. So I guess you gotta be a little smart about it, but, yeah. There we go. There's our skill points. One sec. So I think there's still some stuff we can do here that we're going to need to restart the planet for, basically, but we'll come back to that at some point. First, let's go check our skill point menu here. Yeah, we got to go fast in the Barlow course still. That's for the Moonstones. Survive that thing. Page. Oh, does that just destroy the entire city? Yeah, so... that's a thing we can do. Before I forget. Let me go ahead and do that. And meanwhile, I'm going to go and double check what the deal is with that old school skill point. All enemies on Dobo. Okay. What time do we need? 10. We'll get there eventually. So see, we can just hit exit challenge whenever we feel like. So all that matters really is just smashing all these buildings and not getting killed in the process. Because, you know, if we leave, whatever, but dying, let's not give this guy the satisfaction of that. But hey, if he wants to keep bumping us into buildings, that's fine too. You know, sometimes you got to use all your tools at your disposal, and that includes getting hit. Sometimes it works for you. We'll look at that when we hit a point where we're like, okay, what are we missing? By which point it'll probably be like that one patch of buildings that I only did half of and then got sidetracked, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm a fool. Going in stripes like that is probably not necessarily the greatest idea I've ever had. Not unless I'm going to take out an entire chunk at the same time, but that's better. Stun that guy, and I mean, obviously I still see some stuff that's, you know, pretty close in the distance there, but I just wanted to see if that strip of land, was there a... Oh, for a second I thought there was a platinum bolt inside of that building, and I was about to be like, what? That's a thing? Because if it is, I sure as hell don't remember it, that's for sure. As you'd probably guess by that outburst. Or partial outburst, anyway. Alright, so where is our... Alright, so it's just literally on the other half. Is it just all surrounding that one bit of greenery over there? Is that everything? That appears to be everything. Alright. So we're pretty close to being done with this. Which is great. Not that I dislike the giant Clank fights, but, you know. going around and just smashing the entire contents of the city is a little bit silly. There we go. Skill point got. Let's go. Get a slightly longer loading sequence than usual, I believe. What's the hardest skill point to achieve? That is a difficult question. I wouldn't really know what to tell you there. I think that the Wrench Ninja 2 Massacre one is pretty hard, but that's mostly because I was trying to do it at the same time that I was running through the level the first time. It gets a lot easier once you pick up the second wrench upgrade and you buy some better armor than what's available to start with. So past that, there's one for here called Old School, which requires you to use just the wrench and just the old Gadgetron weapons. I could see that being pretty annoying, although again, you do have access to the wrench, and if you do that after you've obtained the wrench upgrade, pardon me, from Aranos, that's probably not too bad. I think there's one for completing a pretty lengthy stretch without taking a hit. I'm gonna go take a look at the skill points list here again. That one's pretty easy. That was pretty tough. I just haven't done this yet. I don't think the Speed Demon one is that bad. That's easy. The Crystal ones are annoying, but not too bad. Midtown Insanity. I remember this one being pretty tough. This requires you to beat a grind course on Damocel, which is the second to last planet, without taking a hit. And it's a pretty lengthy one, and there's a lot of obstacles, so unsurprisingly, that's pretty rough. Moving Violation, I don't remember exactly what that is. This will probably be fine. Prehistoric Rampage, I'm assuming, is just use the wrench to kill a bunch of stuff on Uzla. Yeah, I've already talked about this one. This one's easy. This one is pretty hard. Defeat the B2 Brawler without taking a hit. That's pretty much, you're coming back for that later. And even then, you might not necessarily have the easiest time because, man, that thing can hit you so easily. He's probably pretty fast to kill with the Rhino 2, although I haven't done that in a while, so... past that... Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is you can probably kill that thing pretty fast. But I pretty much got it by chance earlier. Nano to the max, there's some pretty hard stuff to pick up. There's the glider-based one on Dobo that's pretty annoying. There's the swing shot one on Snivelak that's really hard to get, so that might be kind of rough. That's pretty easy. Safety deposit. Safety deposit is that you have to not let anybody die in the bank, I think. And that's pretty tough, actually. So that one might be pretty high up there. Ultimately, let's just put it this way. The skill points in this game are nowhere near as tough as they were in Ratchet 1. So if you've got everything, if you're properly geared, they're probably not, I don't know that there's any that are too bad. I'd have to actually maybe give that a little consideration. But, are we all loaded up on everything? Yeah, I mean, we got a couple of guns we haven't bought yet, but we'll get there. I haven't been, like, grinding cash too much off camera or anything, because... Yeah, That's a lot of... We'll just put it that way. Alright, so we're gonna go do that wrench thing. Because, yeah, this one should be quite a bit easier now. Because we have better damage and we have better armor. Also, we can get some free money while we're here. Did we go far enough in to set off those birds? We did not. Okay, so I'm going to take out the vaporizer. We're also going to try to kill... It's 12 birds you need to shoot down in this level. And yeah, that blast radius is alarmingly large, but it's fine. We didn't hit a dude, so we're okay. And the birds don't count as enemies either, so... To be fair, if they did, that would be really weird. Those birds have really good facial expressions, by the way. Just those tiny little bead eyes. I don't know, it looks really funny to me. Like, more than usual for something with little beady eyes like that. Oh, that still does... It's 2. Is it 2 or is it 3? Is it halfway? That would be weird. Either way. We got that. Alright. Take out the dynamo. Well, I mean... Yeah, it probably would have been, but... Were there more special types than there were physical types? After the addition of Dark and Steel in Gen 2? Because, I mean, they did make some strange decisions, we'll say that. Well, besides, it's not like there wasn't a Dragon-type Eevee evolution in Scarlet and Violet, as far as I know. Then again, as far as I know, the main thing that game contains is memory leaks. So, yeah. I've heard that Scarlet and Violet perform like absolute dog shit. Which is very unfortunate. And I sincerely hope that somebody is able to fix that. And it's not even just like buy a Switch OLED, which I don't think the Switch OLED has an improved ability to perform whatsoever, so that's not really real advice as far as I'm concerned. But yeah. I've heard that its performance is not exactly good. Put it nicely. Boy, I hope that I can get away with getting things killed in pits, otherwise this is gonna really suck. Oh, so is there a day 1 patch that fixes it? Well, that's good. On the other hand, boy, I wish that we lived in a world where day 1 patches for video games were not a thing that were ever necessary, because, like, let the devs finish the fucking game before you force it out onto the market. On the other hand, I guess that Nintendo and the rest of TPCI have to be like, well, we really need to make this money in order to keep the Pokemon franchise so big. Meanwhile, I'm just thinking, boy, if only Game Freak, like, doubled the amount of people they had working at the company, this might not be such an issue. And I know that just throw money at the problem is not necessarily a real fix, and if you wanted to say that, I'd be like, fair enough, you know, maybe it wouldn't work. But god damn it, if you're not gonna try at least, come on. I love Pokemon. I just wish they actually performed halfway decently. the Pokemon games are, increasingly jank in a way that was a little more acceptable when it was basically Game Freak's, I don't know, third game ever or something. And when it was coming out on the regular-ass Game Boy in 1996. Well past its sell-by date, really. At least on some level. I mean, obviously they didn't have a replacement for it by then, but you know what I'm saying. And Laser Rifle Mackenzie over here has really managed to survive that. That's impressive. Yeah, if the anime is actually ending, as I've heard some people suggest that it might do, that would help clean some stuff up. But of course, you still have the card game and all that other stuff to work with. Yeah, 1010, that's what I saw as well. Which is quite a lot of Pokemon, and there would be quite a few more if they were not so tied up in regional variants. On the other hand, I actually do like regional variants, so, that's not really, like, real shade. I don't mean it to sound like that, because regional variants are cool. Alolan Marowak is actually much better than regular Marowak. I don't play any card games anymore, not in real life. I mean, I played Master Duel for a little bit on Yu-Gi-Oh!, but I don't really play the paper game. I just have a couple of cards that I think are cool. Although, who knows, maybe one day. But I did buy an Alolan Marowak playmat as a mouse mat for my computer because the art was really cool. And it's just a really good Pokemon in general. So, yeah. Anyway, there's Skill Point the first and Skill Point the second. There should be 4 birds on this wire for us to take out. 1. 2. 3. 4. Hooray! We did it! Oh, new paint jobs are available for us at Slim Cognitos. Okay. Well, neat. Oh, I didn't mean to jump all the way off the edge. Whoops! Overdid it a little bit there. Let's levitate our asses up here, and I wonder if we're in a good enough shape right now that we can do the impossible challenge. I'm probably gonna not be able to, but I think we're okay. Lancer all enemies in 60 seconds. Oh, right. I remember this. I remember this bullshit. We've got mods on our Lancer, though, so we should be good to go for that. Megapede in 3 minutes. That shouldn't be too hard. And then the impossible challenge. We did the damage avoidance. Hell yeah. I don't even gotta think about that anymore. Yes! Okay, yeah, this shock mod is not really adding quite as much as I'd hoped for, but, oh, jeez, man, this is pretty brutal. Oh, they're giving us ammo crates, though. Thank goodness. Oh, yes! That just put it back in play, although only barely. Can you die, please? Was it only 30... Was it only 30 enemies? Yeah, it was only 30 enemies we had to kill. It just said all enemies, not... I probably could have done that last time. God damn it. Oh, man. Well, I guess at the bare minimum, they realized that The Heavy Lancer is a pretty weak weapon right now, and yet it's still on my weapon wheel. Because I like it a lot. Okay. Okay. Alright, kill the Megapede in 3 minutes. Alright, shield. Helinoids. Mega turret gun, there we go. I forget how many of these we can have out, but I believe that if we just keep leaving out the shots, they will spawn in later. So we've got that going for us. Oh, I don't have lock-on for the heavy bouncer. Oops. That may not be a choice weapon here. However, the HK-22 is not really a bad choice almost ever, so points there. To be quite honest with you, once you've got the gear, I think they could have given you half the time they give you for this. And this challenge would still be a piece of piss. Like, wow. I probably could have done that in 1 minute if I was a little bit more efficient. And if I had better mods in some of my gear. But, you know, all told, we done pretty good. Restock everything, and now it's time for the big money, the impossible challenge. They're not even going to tell us how long this is. It's 60 rounds, if I recall correctly. 60 rounds, and they do give you ammo refills at least. So there's that going for it, and it flips between regular and cage match off and on. And this, they call this the impossible challenge, obviously. It's supposed to be like, oh, it's super difficult. But this has nothing on a similar challenge in Up Your Arsenal. In Ratchet 3, I believe it's called Locked and Loaded in the PAL regions, if I am not mistaken. Somebody decided that Up Your Arsenal was a little bit overkill. Anyway, yeah, that one is 100 rounds, if I recall correctly. Meanwhile, this one, as I said, I believe it's only 60 we have to deal with. Which 60 is a quite strange number, but you know what? Because I don't. But yeah, to get back to the thing that was mentioned, that there's too much Pokemon media already coming out, so the deadlines have to keep everything organized versus, is it greed? I mean, to be honest with you, I think that those are very close to each other anyway. So on some level, the fact that they're not willing to give up anything because they already are, the unwillingness to cut bait on certain things, we'll put it that way. Like, not for nothing, and I'm probably going to upset some people by saying this, but does the Pokemon card game serve that much purpose except to give people like Logan Paul attention for messing with toys for children? Messing with the distribution of asterisk, we'll put that down there. But, again, part of that may just be me. I haven't played the Pokemon card game in a very long time. And yeah, I mean, there is potentially that they'd be probably taking a fair gamble just going, is it really that big? I don't know, it doesn't seem like that much of a thing, but maybe I just don't know anybody who does anything with it. Like, the toys I can understand, and the same with all the other stuff, because obviously I see a ton of these Pokemon toys everywhere. Again, slight asterisk that this means a ton of varieties of, and usually like 1 or 2 a piece in most places, because obviously they must be selling. Like, they got a company doing not real Lego of Pokemon stuff. I'm surprised they didn't spring for a contract with actual Lego, but maybe that was too expensive. And again, justly so on both sides. Well, I know that they're, like, constantly adding more cards. Again, the thing is that I just never see anybody who is... no, it's not Mega Blocks. It's something called Mega Constructs, which I guess is probably similar. It may even be, same company. I don't know offhand, because I don't keep up that much with, the Lego knockoffs. To be a little bit mean about it. But I did actually buy one of the little $7 kits that they had, which was a little Mimikyu in a Premier Ball. I actually bought 2 of them because, I don't know, maybe I had this idea that, like, I'd give one of them to somebody at some point, and I never did. Because I don't have any friends, and I'm not known for anything, really. But, it's a pretty decent quality. I would say that it is above the quality level that Mega Bloks was putting out way back the last time I ever bought any Mega Bloks stuff, which is back when they were doing those dragon sets some 15 plus years ago. In fact, possibly even closer to 20. In fact, quite probably closer to 20. But I definitely remember the plastic quality on those not being very good. And just everything felt like, you know, like total crap. I mean, I guess determining what plastic quality is can be a little rough, but... like, at least they weren't misshapen, but that's it. Anyway, yeah, however, the Mega Constructs, the one that I managed to get, that I ever actually got hold of, I should see if I can find a couple more of them for a reasonable price, because I do like that, and, you know, having Pokemon-related stuff around the set and everything would be nice, and I'm kind of getting back into Lego stuff, because YouTube will not stop recommending me any of it. Like, after a point, YouTube just sort of went from, oh, hey, you're watching Nile Red a lot. Let's recommend you some other general science stuff, to engineering, which, I mean, also makes sense, because I do a lot of electronic, you know, I'm interested in a lot of electronic stuff. Oh, by the way, when you switch from regular mode to cage match mode, your shield generator switches off, so do not do prep on the way up on these, basically. Because this game's kind of a dick sometimes. I don't know why it always shuts off there, but it does always shut off there. It's not some weird one-off. Anyway, so, you know, YouTube started recommending me a bunch of, like, engineering and electronics stuff. And eventually it recommended me this channel, and oh man, this is a really cool channel, by the way, called Brick Experiment Channel. If you're into Lego stuff at all and technology, you should go look this up, because the things he does on that channel are absolutely wild. The guy has made multiple functional remote control submarines using Lego and a very small amount of other parts. Like, mostly just a vessel and something to seal it with, and a remote control. And that's about it. And then the rest is Lego, and it's kind of wild. So, yeah, thanks to seeing a bunch of that stuff, I'm like, wow, I really miss that stuff from when I was a kid. And certainly I'm not quite clever enough to come up with something quite as cool as, oh, hey, I'm going to build a submarine out of my... or anything like that. But, you know, I missed those kind of construction toys. And I'd like to get some more of that stuff, even if it is just to build something kind of static or even just out of a kit, you know? Why not? I miss that stuff quite a bit. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely know that, like, toys and the various narrative media, just to put it in a general way, those obviously are huge. And the card game, obviously I see the cards in volume. What I don't really see, and I know they exist, but it seems like it's in such tiny amounts, are people who actually play. And, you know, to be fair, that's not necessarily much evidence of anything, but if that's all you've got, that's all you've got in terms of what you know, right? Anyway, we are pretty deep into the home stretch here. I might be able to just sheep these guys to get a little bit of experience and take a little bit of the burden off the bouncer, because we would like to save a bit of that for later. And as you can see, our health, we're getting tore up from the floor up here, but we're not too far from the finish, so it's probably okay. And we're only taking so much damage. Anyway, that's my Pokemon card game story. I do have a small collection of Pokemon cards myself. As I said before, I don't play. I used to play way back when it was still published by Wizards of the Coast, because, of course, it was Pokemon related, so I was at a certain level of enthusiasm of just being like, well, it's Pokemon, obviously, I gotta... And I definitely remember playing a couple of tournaments. I think I came in first place at something... Like, it was something small. It wasn't like, oh, I used to be some kind of champion. I've never really, like, come in at anything big, card game-wise. I think the biggest thing that I ever achieved in terms of any sort of win, and a lot of that is based off of the fact that it came with a fairly serious trophy attached to it. Let me pause for a second and adjust this chair. Is that, speaking of Wizards of the Coast, back in the early 2000s, in the very, one of the earlier eras of the internet, you may remember this thing called Neopets that was very big, and in fact still exists, strangely enough. And Wizards of the Coast had a card game based on this media franchise / website mostly, although it did have a video game, like a console game type of thing. It may have had some sort of animated film, and it had this card game, and Wizards of the Coast went really hard on this for some reason, which, you know, it had the shelf life of, like, fuck nothing in the end. So it seems really funny in retrospect. Hey, a full heal. That is tremendous. Oh, we're fighting the Megapede for the last round. I thought we fought the Arachnoid for the last round. But yeah, this is it. Round 60. It's boss time. Okay, so I do have the lock-on mod for this. It just wasn't working earlier, I guess. How far ahead do I have to shoot to actually hit anything with this? It may just not be a smart idea to do that at all. Alright. Helinoid, Shield Charger. Let's use this instead. So anyway, again, and it wasn't even like that big of a tournament. It was a pre-release for the first expansion. However, as I said before, like, fairly serious trophy. Like, it's a chunk of glass or something. I'm pretty sure it's glass. It definitely feels like glass. And, like, I guess you could send it off to get your name etched into it for a pre-release for an expansion for the Neopets card game, of all things. And in retrospect, that sounds absolutely fucking wild. Because mentally, I'm just sitting here like, pre-release for an expansion. This is not worth anything in terms of what you need to be sending us for any sort of reward. I've been to a lot of pre-releases for Magic stuff, and I've placed in it, and all they give you is packs. You were gone for most of the conversation. Well, you know what? That's fine. It was me relating the fact that it's really weird that the Neopets card game, of all things, they gave me this really ridiculously, well, again, by virtue of being a pre-release for an expansion type of trophy. Like, I think that somebody at Wizards of the Coast was just like, they must have been absolutely wilding out on the idea that card games have got to be the new big thing between Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Except that it wasn't because of card games, it was because of Magic and Pokemon. And later because of Yu-Gi-Oh! But, you know, ultimately it was mostly because Magic and Pokemon. Because a lot of people got very seriously into Magic just beyond, you know, beyond just the fact that it was a card game. These guys just ran away, didn't they? Alright, so we'll take this out, I guess. Yeah, that would probably be a smart idea. But I guess somebody at Wizards, or I think by then Wizards of the Coast was owned by Hasbro, so honestly I'm going to blame Hasbro because Hasbro has never struck me as being the most brilliant of decision makers. For some reason that I just cannot seem to nail down. But, somebody was just absolutely going crazy with this idea that the card games were this big of a deal. Anyway, we completed the Impossible Challenge, and we got a large sum of money. And we, more importantly, got a skill point. I think everything here has been purchased, ammunition-wise. Weapons. We could grab these last two weapons, but I also want to go grab that new suit of armor. Oh, we unlocked new outfits for Ratchet, huh? The cheats menu, right. I forgot that this is a thing. Oh, yeah, so we got a big head. We literally have big head mode. It's the first thing. I like that it just inflates. It's not a quick skip to that, and we get Ratchet in a tux. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I'm leaving that on. Clank is a big noggin. Yeah. I like how they just mix up the descriptions. Actors have oversized craniums. This will be anyone in a cutscene. I don't know. Let's leave that off. Oh, Snow Dude. Oh, right. Yeah, we can turn ourselves into a snowman. That's cute. I love stuff like this. Oh, also we can turn mirror mode on if we're insane. Because I need to be more confused in these levels. While doing simple platforming. Alright. We've goofed off quite a bit here. We should probably do something. I don't know what, though. Alright, so what else have we got to do? I mean, we can continue with the story, obviously, but I'm thinking what else would be a fun little thing to interrupt stuff before we do that. Anyway, yeah, let's go. Let's go to Dobo and let's go deal with the getting everything with just the old weapons again, because we can go here and we can buy the armor. And yeah, let's take a look at this without the tuxedo on real quick. Yes. Gray with red bits. Yes. Very good. Very fashionable, Ratchet. Oh wait, no, the other thing. Anyway, since we beat this level already, this should be much easier, because, you're here for a bit. Well, hi there! I hope you're doing better than Ratchet is. He just got eaten by a fish instantly. How's it going? Hope you're doing alright, Mark. Oh man, I got attacked by a chicken bot twice. Well, hit by a chicken bot twice, I guess. That's embarrassing. I mean, look at those things. About a Banjo-Kazooie modder's work. Interesting. I've been vaguely aware of the existence of some Banjo-Kazooie mods, but that's about it. And even then, I couldn't tell you what they were off the top of my head, because me and remembering things, that does not go together at all. Disney's Splash Mountain. Nice. The Zelda Temple stage in Melee. The entirety of OOT. Holy shit. That's a lot of work. That's all I can say there is. That's a lot of work. But man, Splash Mountain stage too? Nice. And right, the temple stage, i.e. the adventure mode version, not just the battle stage, right? Which, I mean, that's cool too, but otherwise it's like, wow, that's a big leap in terms of content from the temple stage to... Oh, okay. Because otherwise, that seems like a big leap in size from those two. It's just like, that seemed... And I was going to be surprised, I guess. Oh, wow. That was a terrible whiff. Just... take away my license to use this weapon forever. Cut my license into pieces or something. I don't know where this joke is going. But it's not getting there very quickly, that's for sure. Because... 4... This will be 5... Yeah, in case I haven't made it clear at this point, the Gadgetron weapons do kind of suck butts in this game. They have no upgrades, and you get them so early. At least you can get them for free by having played the previous game, I suppose. They gotta have some advantage. And even then, that's not a whole lot of one. Go across the way. Alright, so there should be a taxi back to the main area, right? Or do I have to enter and leave the fight to do that? Get that to come in. Oh, there we go. As long as we touch the pad, it spawns in. Interesting! I suppose. I sounded a lot more excited about that than I perhaps should have, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, let's get back here. The Banjo-Kazooie mod thing is genuinely interesting, though. That's pretty cool. I love hearing about mods for any game that is more modern than the Game Boy Advance. Well, more modern than the SNES, we'll go with that. I mean, I like hearing about mods and hacks for games no matter what. Like, they're just really cool. But everything pre-Super Nintendo, or everything post-Super Nintendo, rather. It would be real cool if I knew how to use my words properly, but I don't. So, y'all are just going to have to put up with it. Anyway, stuff like that has always seemed like weirdly out of reach in some way. You'll look me up later? Cool. I would love to check that stuff out. It's reminding me I should look into finding an N64 EverDrive or something. Maybe if I got some cash at Christmas, I'll see about that. Oh! Oh yeah, that's not instant death, thank goodness. That's better. Alright, so there should still be a little bit of stuff in this room to clean up. Oh yeah, here we go. We got plenty of dudes we can fight more effectively with the wrench than with anything else. Alright, we do ourselves a nice little figure 8 pattern here. There we go. Eventually we'll get that done. Also telling you about a Smash 64 mod. Ooh, neat. I did know about Smash 64 mods. Somebody I know who used to run Smash tournaments out of his apartment for a couple months had a Smash 64 mod the last time I was there, which was a couple years ago. Back when I first got vaxxed, and it didn't seem like there was much of a, you know, when it didn't seem like there was that great of a concern about variants. Anyway, but never minding that. Yeah, so I did know that there were a couple of those, but I don't really know a whole lot about them past the fact that they exist. So that'll still be something interesting to take a look at. Now that we're done with this, let's equip that, I suppose, and the piano from... Nice. I like it. That's a good choice. Alright, so the one on Uzla, I did go look it up. Yeah, make fun of me if you want, but we've got to shoot down some pterodactyls near the Megacorp store. We're not going to take the warp, however. We're going to take the long way. And that'll let us help out in boosting this. Because we're going to want to use the Sheepinator for one of the other skill points. And this will give us, if we manage to upgrade it, basically, that'll make our lives quite a bit easier for that particular skill point. And then I can take this thing off the weapon wheel, and we can all be like, yeah, that was a thing that existed, wasn't it? It doesn't have an upgrade in challenge mode, so the exact same sheep sound that's in Space Station Silicon Valley. Yeah, you are correct. I didn't even think about that at the time, but I'm not surprised that it's just a recycled stock sound effect, because, yeah, that is how one does sometimes. Can't always make all the sound effects for yourself. Sometimes you gotta purchase some stock things from a library. Oh, this is... I was about to say, this isn't sinking, is it? No, just look. Yeah, I mean, potentially that one, but probably not. But either way, yeah, there's definitely a lot of, well, stock assets used in a lot of stuff anyway. So where are these guys? Now let's take a look and see if this says any more details about it. Oh. It's all the way back at the start. Well, then I took a needlessly long route getting there, so you know what? We'll just go the rest of the way through here.
For choosing Megacorp, our customers come first.
Actually, come to think of it, if that's just a stock sound effect, a stock sheep sound, is that... Like, I've kind of noticed that the sound that the sheep makes when it panics from running out of float and falling sounds a lot like it just sounds off compared to that for some reason. At least I think it does. So maybe it's like that's something they did themselves, or they just modified the original sound effect in some way that made it sound really weird. Other than just the fact that it's, well, more panicked sounding, obviously. Right. I am clearly explaining it very poorly, but like I'm saying, it sounds like it could be a person at DMA or at DMA making that noise instead of just being like a filtered version of that sound effect. Or maybe it's not, who knows. I admit that I don't. So we go back up here, and yeah, apparently I completely missed these dudes. So we're going back to here. Is it gonna be down this way, maybe? Saw something flying up there. Oh, are these... Is this what we're looking for? Are these pterodactyls that are flying around up here? Let's see if we can actually get them all. Might be a little rough. Because me and sniping do not go hand in hand, just like a lot of things, really. Like that. Alright, that's 3. Okay, there's a 4th one. There we go. Yes, indeed. But I believe otherwise we've gotten everything on this planet, so no real need to hang out here. Go across, and... We're gonna go pick up some more ammunition for our vaporizer, even though we're probably not gonna need it, but just in case. Alright. Check our skill points list. See what we're missing at this point. Speed Demon. 2 more from planets we haven't been to. Moving Violation. I need to double check that. Try to Sleep, which is just transforming a bunch of enemies on there into sheep. Ammo to the max. Weapon NP. Stage deposit. We can't do those yet. Nice Ride. We could grind that out, I guess, but that would make this stream even more boring than usual, and come on. What kind of a sick bastard do you take me for? Oh, I see. Well... There we go. That's... Do that better. Because, yeah, this is the elevator we gotta take to go back to the bike zone. 216. What we need is 210, so that's some, it's a little sad, I guess. It'll be fine. Oh, is that somebody we were... I was going to say lapping, but that can't really be a thing on lap 1, can it? That amount of non-boost might have caused some problems for us. I'm sure we'll be fine. Dang it, we didn't pick up that boost. That's unfortunate. That's a really hard one to get, though, so... I suppose what can you do, right? Jeez, we were way off there! One sec. Ah, that time it got caught on the desk. 218. We have to make 210 apparently. That is disgusting. Especially because the other one we did so easily. Like, I didn't even notice that we got a perfect that we got a skill point worthy time on that one. So maybe I was wrong about this potentially not being too hard. This one seems like it might be really tough. Yeah, especially if I do things like that. That's a reset. Which is unfortunate because I actually managed to land the boost at the start of the thing. You might hear me mashing the button because I don't really understand the timing too well, especially, again, with that bit of sound lag, as I've said before. And that time I turned a little too tight to get thing. That's going to be a restart. I think I may have to just restart for... until I get the boost at the start of the thing. God, like, I get the concept. It's like any racing game, but... the timing just... is really, really nasty. Like, more than for most of those, but then again, I haven't really played a real racing game in a very long time, so maybe it's harder in a lot of that stuff than I actually remember. Wow, look at how fast these guys are going. What the heck? Oh, they probably actually pulled off the turn that I couldn't. 44 seconds. I think we've got a little bit of... Well... So now I'm thinking, what do I need to make if I want to, on average per lap? Yeah, we don't really have a ton of leeway if we're gonna make that kind of time every time, but I'm feeling good about this one. This one's going a lot faster. This time we're making all the right turns. We're getting pretty much all the boosts. Yeah, see, if we can just keep this up. I know, that's a pretty big if. I got a feeling I'm going to come within like a second of this and I'm going to be really sad. Because that is exactly how it would go, right? Oh, we can't even kill the thing when we hit it with our shielded bike. Dang. I was hoping for some free bolts. Oh, we got it. Oh, boy. 209.6. Yeah, that's rough. 2 minutes, 10 seconds, huh? Jeez. Yeah. Whoo. All right, so let me double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and yeah. Only 2 of them can we still get right now. We may as well go get them. And you'll notice that my my skill point collection is wildly outstripping my collection of platinum bolts because I don't remember where like any of them are. So, where's ships? That's a weirdly. All right. Well, I don't think we have like jack shit for raritanium. I'm gonna go take a look. Items. We have 7. Okay, so we can't even work on Nice Ride right now. We're not even gonna look at paint jobs for this thing until we can actually like afford those in a real sense. So we go here, we go transform some squirrels into sheep. And then we shoot down some ships on Thugs for Less planet. And then we go. Oh, wow. These guys take a while to convert, huh? Five. We're just going to face tank the damage, though, because we can. Hey, turn. There we go. All right, that's 9, 10. There. Does that spawn another squirrel? Well, there's number 11 right there. Yeah, I definitely checked this. It's 16, which is, again, a strange number. They make you just get, like, a weird number of these things in some of these areas, but maybe that's all that spawn after the level is completed or something. It's 12. Should be 4 upstairs from here. Again, make sure that there isn't one bringing up the rear here. Oh, there it is. 13. The... Wow, okay, Guys? I think Mr. Fizzwidget is broken. Get going. That's pretty great. I've never seen that happen before, I don't think. I've seen some of the other bots get stuck, and I don't think it holds up the thing. Maybe it does, and I just don't remember. Whatever, it feels like I don't remember, so that's good enough for me. Hey, the Sheepinator upgrading to the Black Sheepinator. And for some reason, Black Sheep explode. Also, we've got a fancy blacked out progress meter that actually makes it much more annoying to use. So, thanks a lot, game. I know you're looking out for me. Oh wait, no, the other thing. Alright, do we have anything else to stock up on ammunition for? I don't think we do. Yeah, I didn't think so, but I just had to double check. Let's get us some free money while we're here. Because, I mean, really, it is free money. Alright, back we go, back we go! Alright. You know what, let's do the ship stuff. We've already done that. Fight the bandits. Okay, that seems pretty simple. He's got 32 ships to take out. Hopefully these mines do enough damage to help us out. How much... we got 6 more mines. Unfortunately, they keep breaking because they hit things, and they do, like, no damage when they get broken. And you might be like, well, that's normally what mines do, and yes, but not in this game. So, because they're functioning the way a mine usually would, that's a problem. What a world we live in. Alright. Missile time. That should help us find these guys. Oh, they're got some mines back. But that might be just more annoying than anything to put to use. Alright, that was pretty simple. This next one... The ghost ship. Okay, I was pretty close to what I was thinking. I was thinking like, oh, it's some kind of dreadnought thing. where it's a single target. But yeah, it is a single target. It's just that it's not in the way that I was thinking of before. Instead, it's a ghost ship. I mean, obviously it's a ghost ship accompanied by a bunch of little tiny pissant ships, but, they are just obliterating me, too. Sorry I called them little tiny pissant ships. Jesus. Cut me some slack, game. Throw out some of these. I just want to clear out... Okay, yeah, that'll help me out quite a bit. Mostly, I just want to clear the air a little bit here so that way I can, you know, work in a little more safety. Okay, the barrel roll is helping us dodge a little bit. It's not just a meme. It's a real technique, I swear. Alright, so the fires have disappeared, so it's definitely in ghost mode now. It's gone ghost. I've never seen Danny Phantom. Oh, there were plenty of Ghost Ship Yu-Gi-Oh cards, weren't there? But the one that made me think of first was like Skull Mariner or something, I think is what it's called, which is just a pirate ship with a big red skull face on the bow. There's plenty of others, though. I mean, unsurprisingly. Anyway, the ghost ship contained no ghost pirates. Oh, it is? I didn't realize that. There's a lot of, like, offbeat, memey Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I don't know about. But you know one that I do know about is Oh Fish. That one's pretty hilarious. Anywho, dealing with this, a Mecha Phantom Beast. I don't even know what the fuck those are offhand, so that explains a lot. Anyway, so what we're doing here is we gotta shoot down 14 ships. And so I have no idea if I hit anything there, but, oh, we definitely got one there. Missed that one. Gotcha. And yeah, hitting these things is pretty tough. As you can see, they zip around pretty fast. Like, shockingly so, all considered. It might be best for us to just wait for more of the big ships that are slow. Because, yeah, hitting those tiny ones, oh boy. They've got a hitbox that sucks. That's for sure. It's like, I don't know, insert your own fighting game joke there. I'm not going to help you with that. Because I can't think of one off the top of my head, really. I'm curious if we can, like, shoot him down with the Heavy Lancer from here. I mean, I'd have to actually land the shot. Apparently not. Although maybe that one just doesn't want to die anymore after I got it once. Maybe it's mad at me. Why am I doing that? Just wait for the big ships. Actually, these ones aren't infinitely spawning, are they? I may have to go elsewhere in the level, then. Oh, how'd I miss that twice? Oh, right. Because I'm real bad. Obviously. Oh, hey, look, the tanks are back. Well, I guess if we want to farm experience for our tank bot glove... Oh, wait, no. That's already maxed out. That was a joke, guys. Don't listen to anything I say. Oh, just faded out in front of me. All right. Come on. Where's... Really am just going to have to start aiming for the small ships too, aren't I? There we go. We got one of them. As that one ably dodges my incredibly tiny bullet that... You know, usually that thing is the size of a thing that's real big. Like, we all remember when I was trying to snipe the health box on that one level, trying to beat that with just the wrench before I really should have tried to do that. And it's just like, oh, hey, I'm right next to a wall. Suddenly the bullet is 10 meters wide. Meanwhile here, har har, no. Well, I mean, there's a lot of very large objects in this world that you can imagine for yourself. Maybe an elephant. A truck. A gymnasium. I don't know. What do you want from me? Sense? Well, you're the wrong stream in that case. God, I can't hit a damn thing with this. Which is amazing, because it's like... Oh, I swear that thing went through it. No, it probably just barely drove around it. Fuck out of here. I know I have slow reflexes, but man, this is making me feel real bad about myself. Fuck! Well, let's go back to the start of the level. Oh, that may have reset our counter. Now that I think about it. God, I hope not. That would be total trash. But that's okay. At this point, us making huge mistakes is just kind of a thing that happens. Hey, we got that thing just barely. Now, if only all the other ships in this area could be a little bit kinder about this. I always find it really wild, by the way, because you can see there that the vaporizer ammo is 50 bullets a shot, like the big explosives usually are. Oh, fuck off, you! There is no way that thing should have missed. Are you kidding me? What was I saying? Oh, yeah. It's kind of ridiculous that, like, despite the high damage on these things, that they're that low on ammo and they're that expensive per shot because holy fuck, can you land a... It's not because of the accuracy. That sucks, but moreover, it's just the fact that, like, the sniper weapons in these games are not good ideas to be using because, past the first game where they didn't really have one for that matter. Well, I somehow managed to hit that one that time. I'm surprised. But there's usually just too much shit going on for most of the time to really make this a smart move. You're usually in far too much danger to really put them to use, is what I'm trying to say here. So it's really strange that they're like this. I mean, and the damage is not that amazing. I mean, again, they hit hard, but I'm pretty sure that the mini rocket does more damage than the vaporizer does. And it's much easier to use. Run on Foxbox. I think... Yeah, I think it was, yeah. Oh boy, this is driving me nuts. Like, this one little thing is going to be what puts me over the edge eventually, I'm sure. Hey, we got that one from downtown. Nice. Especially because, also, these are regular projectile weapons. Like, they don't hit scan or anything. I guess that wasn't really a concept in 2003. But it also makes hitting a moving object incredibly hard. As you can see by stuff like that. Alright, come on. Game, there was another big ship over there, wasn't there? You want to spawn it in for me? I could try going over to the boss fight location, and that might have more ships flying around. And in a location that's more easily accessible than with the sniper rifle. But, Alright, we're going to the boss area. Actually, we're gonna just stand at the bridge here and see if we can get something out of this. Because I know that one of the bigger ships passes by here. Oh, what's all these things doing over here? I do not remember those dynamo targets whatsoever. Well, again, perhaps I should probably wait until after I deal with the ships. Oh, I feel like he would say that. Anyway, we're gonna try... Maybe we got the ones that come by the bridge like that. We're gonna clear out the bridge using this thing. Oh. No, we're too far. Oh, can they see me? They sure can. Well, darn. Let's fix that problem by killing them, so that way they can't see anything. Oh, fuck me! Again, there's me overshooting the edges of things and just dying in a really stupid way. God. I fucking hate this level so much. I swear, this has got to have some of the worst stuff in the game in it, just in general. This terrible bridge. This terrible skill point. The terrible nanotech upgrade. Like, wow, they really did just pack everything in one place here. And by everything, I mean, oh boy, later levels are even worse. Don't you worry. Okay, we already have full ammo on that. That's good. Oh, thank God. We're done with it. Oh my God, yes. They count through death. Yes. Yes. Oh, we unlocked a new outfit for Ratchet. Hooray. We can turn into a clown or something. Yeah, it's literally a clown outfit. Sincere apologies if you're afraid. I take a break from this game for next Monday? Fuck no. We're almost done. And honestly, this isn't that bad. Like, compared to the other things, I mean, that's terrible. Remember, that's optional! I didn't have to do that! At all. This game is not that bad compared to the previous one, that's for sure. Honestly, if I had known that I could just suicide after getting a single ship, though, I would have just done that and just be like, okay, let's figure out what is the easiest one to get in the pattern at the start, and just keep doing that. It probably would have been a hell of a lot cheaper, too, come to think of it, but whatever. Anywho, there's no real reason for me to keep going into this level, is there? As I'm just like, I don't remember where any of the platinum bolts or anything are. In any of these worlds. But the only optional things we have to do right now are... Well, I know I just said I don't know where any of the platinum bolts are, but that's not 100% correct, because I know that I can get them from doing the races against the guy with the really unfortunate sounding name in all of the spaceship levels. So past that, the only other things I know of offhand, I guess we're just going to go to Smolg, and we're going to carry on with that. And we're going to see about finally being able to purchase that plasma coil. Because we're getting up to that. I mean, we could have bought the hover bomb gun, but that thing is a piece of shit, and I will stand behind that opinion. I'm sure there's somebody out there who likes this game who's like, oh, it's really good, it does a lot of damage, and yeah, I mean, it does, but... Like... We've played Earthbound, we've seen the Casey Bat, we've played... No, we haven't played a Fire Emblem game on this channel, have we? Well, whatever, I think you've all seen enough of one to be like, oh, hey, I've heard of the Devil Axe. That thing sucks. Yeah, but it hits real hard, don't it? When it actually hits. Yeah, we're like 10 grand off. Hoverbomb, Zodiac, and the Rhino 2. It's one more weapon, then. Because, yeah, that should be... Is there? Like, surely they would lock this slot off if it wasn't supposed to have a weapon in it, because... Huh. Huh. That's all, just, huh. All things to forget now, right? Oh, right, it's a challenge mode thing. Interesting. So only 8K to go. I could probably just barely enter this room. Oh, hey, this is a setup where we would want the Taunter if we were in the previous game. But as we aren't, and, you know, I'm gonna say thank goodness for that, because, well, honestly, thank goodness for that. Alright, so we got these jackass crabs here. These guys hit pretty hard, and they can take a lot of punishment. And by a lot of punishment, I mean 2 mini rockets. I thought it was much more than that. So that's a my bad. It's okay, maybe it'll be more because of blast radius on some of these weapons. Yeah, what was I saying about needing that plasma coil? I mean, we'll want it eventually, obviously, because the plasma coil is a really good weapon. It's actually even better in the next game. Much like this game, Ratchet & Clank 3 features, I believe it's 5 returning weapons, which includes the lava gun, which has an all-new upgrade that's different. The shield charger, the plasma coil, the bouncer, and there's one other that I have forgotten. It's not the mini That's right, it's the mini turrets. And in that game, they're all, like, fully fledged. They all have full upgrades and stuff compared to... Because in Ratchet & Clank 3, weapons have more upgrades. Like, they go up to 5 stages in that game, I think. And have an additional 3 stages in challenge mode. But... yeah, so... in that game, all the returning weapons are absolutely sick, nasty nuts. And the plasma coil is pretty damn strong. You get it really late in the game, though, so that's a little unfortunate, but oh well. At the very least, it's very strong, and it is very strong, and in a situation like that, that's all you need. You know, I didn't investigate those dynamo targets on Snivelac, did I? So I don't know what's back there. I just realized that when I saw that dynamo target for this area. That's real strange, because I was like, you know, that's weird. I should investigate that, and I didn't. To be fair, I think my mind was elsewhere, and by I think, I mean, yeah, it sure was, wasn't it? But this area should be clean, so now we can do some stuff with this. Oh, there's still some guys over there, huh? Alright, so charge that. Yes, but it's way too early to do that. Instead, we want to deal with this. Oh, that was dumb. I did that so well, everybody. I was like, should I do the high jump or the stretch jump? And I think we want to stretch jump. No, we want a high jump off of that. That's a big oopsie on my part. And yeah, you can see why it's a pain in the ass to level up the shield charger in this game, because its damage is so low at its first level. I mean, these little things are taking like 5 hits from it to kill? Yeah, 5 hits. That's not great. That said, you can see they're trying to do some interesting stuff with the dynamo puzzles. You know, to sort of mix things up a little bit. And we've got some crab turtles coming in here. Yeah, let me just level 8 ritual summon these things, alright? Not these guys, those things. Or crab turtle in general. You know, I will go to bat for ritual monsters back in the early game when special summoning was not much of a thing. But I can't really imagine somebody choosing to play Crab Turtle if they had access to Black Luster Soldier or Masked Beast. Which, admittedly, I don't think Black Luster Soldier was available at the time, but Masked Beast sure was. And I mean, 3200 and all you had to do was just chuck the appropriate monsters out of your hand. I mean, sure, it's like a... It's gonna be a minus a lot for something that can be very easily killed, but... That's probably gotta at least scare people a little bit. If you get it out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that 32 hunch back then is pretty good. It's a little bit of a, oh man, that's concerning. Someone plays that and you go, oh, technically I'm capable of losing this game. I hope I don't draw my removal for what is probably their only monster. Oh boy, I really hope they don't play Fissure, because I don't have anything else to deal with this. To soak it, rather. But a large part of that is also grounded in the idea that back then there was just, like, no special summoning whatsoever, almost. So also being able to play a 32 out of nowhere is pretty impressive. But I seem to recall the meta of that era being very just beatdown heavy, so...
Ratchet and Clank.
You lucky devils!
Angela Cross.
Has just sent you a galactic greeting!
Guys, if you get this message, please meet me on my home world. Just so you know, I found my old ID badge. I'm pretty sure we can still use it to infiltrate Megacorp HQ, but you're gonna have to hurry. Before the Protopets completely overrun us! Oh, and sorry for the balloonogram. It was the only thing I could get off this point.
We hope you enjoyed your galactic greeting.
That Angela is quite resourceful.
Yeah, she thinks of everything, doesn't she?
She also appears to be in great danger.
Well, that's going to be real fun when we have to deal with it. But let's keep going on down this grind rail. Because there's some more stuff to do, and then there's another pathway branch earlier in the level, I believe. Alright, let's purchase that, and we're good on ammunition for... Oh, yeah. Shield charger, right. Ah, the thing that bleeds me dry. And there we go. The plasma coil is ours. Let's put that on our quick select just right now. And in fact, I'll give you a little taste of what this thing's like if this guy wants to get out from behind cover instead of hurting himself. It might be no, I'm gonna save that for a group of enemies. Never mind. I just realized, oh yeah, it would probably be smart to save that for a group of enemies. Although I think I hit him once. Unfortunately, you didn't really get a good idea as to what that's like, so... Back up, activate this. Alright. So there's a group of dudes over there. And the plasma coil shoots a nice ball of searing hot plasma that hits everything near your target. It gets even more ridiculous when it upgrades, in that it just keeps going if it doesn't touch anything. Oh god, this thing is absolutely annihilating me. Wow. Do you feel like dying? It's not dead yet. Wow, alright. That's better. Much better. That's what we like to see. It's for things to die horribly. Yes. Yes, yes. And I'll just let these things tackle my shield here. Ooh, nice. Got health up. So we did get a sizably visible chunk of that experience for the shield charger at some point. And I don't know what we got it from, but we got it from something, all right. Meanwhile, wow, now that I think about it, they've had 3 of that sort of crab turtle design in this series already, haven't they? And they're 2 games in? Who at Insomniac was just like, that is peak monster design right there? Because admittedly, I'm not quite sure I agree with them, but, you know, I've seen worse ideas. Just kind of surprising to see a theme repeated that heavily. Oh boy, it's infiltrator time. These always go super well, don't they? Oh wait, no, what the other thing, you know. That wasn't so bad. Anything I can see in nearby-ish manner? Did we get all the little ankle biters? Yeah, we got them. All right, we're good to go. Oh, good. We got 2 of these guys waiting on this island. And they take 4 shots each out of our mini rocket. If I could hit that, that would be good. Incidentally, I think plasma coil ammo is 50 a shot each as well. But you can see the damage on that's pretty good. We landed 2 hits with it, and that made up for 4... Or, no, it made up for 3 missiles, pardon me. So it's got to be doing something right. Sadly, it can't one-shot the crabs, but oh well. Up we go, and... Okay, no, it's just a switch operated. I thought it was a... Aw, what a time for that to run out. Nice. Turn to aim. There we go. Alright. Oh, right. This is part of the... This is part of the Persuader. The Hypnomatic, right. Pardon me. Not the Persuader. I couldn't remember what it was called, though. That's right. We have to gather up 3 parts of that throughout the entirety of the next couple worlds. Counting this one, obviously. And then we have to trade them into a guy later on, is the part 2 of that, by the way. I just forgot to say it. Let me take a drink of water. I'm getting a little bit rough in the throat here. Because I've been making silly noises the whole time. Some of which vaguely resemble words, but aren't quite. At least, goodness, I hope they're not. Get our missiles back. Get our plasma coils. Are they 50? Oh, I can't see now. Oops. I was going to say, geez, those are really expensive. Oh, wow. Our shield charger experience is going way up. And yeah, here, we got 1 out of 3 parts of the Hypnomatic. It's one of the stranger additions. They don't really do that in any other game in the series where you have to get more parts of a thing. Although it does have a pretty funny NPC attached to it, so I like that. But I don't believe we're going to be able to see that today. Because we are hitting up pretty close to... Well, I'm going to go a little long again because I've had a couple of days with issues still, and I do kind of want to, make up for that. I mean, I've had 2 days in the past 2 weeks, really. 2 days in the past 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 days in the past 2 weeks where my internet decided it was Ticketmaster and there was a Taylor Swift concert going on. To which all I can say is, wow, you... Young people, huh? Not knowing that Ticketmaster sucks an entire ass? You fools! Nothing has changed in the past 30 years. Everything has only gotten worse. Insult the internet like that. Jeez, I guess you're right. Imagine being compared to Ticketmaster. God. Actually, I don't know if that was the part of it that was the joke, but on the other hand, I mean, jeez. Ticketmaster really has never been impressive, we'll put it that way. I went to a couple of concerts several years ago, and I never remember Ticketmaster being any part of the enjoyment of the experience, that's for sure. Definitely made things a bit more of a pain in the ass, though. And technology is just the... Ah, well. Listen, I have nothing against her, musically anyway. I mean... And I'm sure that as a person outside of the character, because let's be real, and, I'm sure that she'd be an acceptable person to have as company if you were going to go and, if you were both stuck in a Starbucks and somebody fucked up both of your names on the cup and you can make a joke about it or something, I don't know. But I do admit I'm not really a fan of her music. But also, I'm not going to begrudge people for doing it, or for being a fan of her music, rather. Somebody that I follow on Twitter was crawling up people's asses about paying money to see her because of like, oh, well, all this money goes straight into her pockets, and oh, she's this big polluter because, rather infamously, and this is a thing that I agree with being bad, that she was taking these incredibly short flights on private planes, and it's like, yeah, that does suck, but I do want to point out that the person who was making these complaints has also recently been stumping very heavily for the remade version of Live Alive. And not because that's a bad game or anything, but because it's a Square Enix product. The company that's... The only company that's been filleting NFTs on a concept level harder than actual cryptocurrency sales people. I was trying to think of a more diplomatic way to put it and not necessarily name names, because, I mean, yes, I could just say Elon Musk, but... Come on, he's not the only problem there. So, please at least recognize your hypocrisy at the same time, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I still haven't played that game yet, because I don't know how I feel about giving Square Enix my money. And I also don't know how I feel about pirating to the Switch, because I actually kind of like having my internet access on the Switch. And at the moment, I don't have $300 plus to throw into the wind for another Switch to be able to do that stuff separately from. Separately with, rather. Whatever. I don't think any of us are really coming in here to be the grammar teacher from 4th grade. So, whatever. Anyway, yeah, I got nothing else really to add here. But absolutely, you know, I'll mock Ticketmaster any day of the week, no matter who the artist is attached to it. I mean, like I said, very little has changed since the 90s. I mean, then again, who's gonna say anything nowadays? Because everything is so centralized. With regard to... Oh, hey. That guy did a pretty good amount of damage friendly fire-wise to let us get rid of that crab turtle in a single missile. Even after it tackled our shield a couple times. Whatever. So... Oh yeah, we go in the other way. Duh. I just was making sure there weren't more enemies. This place has been a good time for us EXP-wise. I gotta give it that. Although, man, these levitator sections of any level are just kinda... You know what? It could be the one on Bolden. Remember that time when we just kept just barely missing that, and then the time right afterwards, I massively overshot it like a complete idiot? Damn, that was a rough day for anything, really. Well, I say fuck the police no matter what the police are, but it's... Even the band. I like them, and I'll still... I say that, and I'm pretty sure the only police record I own is Ghost in the Machine. And that's because I saw a tape at a thrift store for like 50 cents or something. Boy, I bet that's not going to be a thing once the pandemic completely subsides. Then again... Oh, you. Just used prices on everything. There's so many collectors for all kind of stuff nowadays that it does become a bit of a pain in the butt for if you start collecting as well. Like, video game prices for old vintage video game stuff is through the fucking roof. I was having this conversation earlier today with my Risk of Rain 2 group. Again, blah, blah, blah. Jokes about Randy Pitchford. Rest in peace, Risk of Rain 2. But regardless of any of that joking around, wow, these guys are vicious. I just want to kill at least one with the shield charger. Come on. But no, there's just too many for that to be a thing. Anyway, I was having the conversation with these folks earlier and, you know, talking about some of the most expensive games we own, because one of the guys, a family friend of his, put a bunch of his old NES stuff up on Facebook, and he was talking about how grossly overpriced it was, which I'm not surprised. But, and just thinking about how I have Eternal Darkness. Eternal Darkness is worth, like, I'm pretty sure Eternal Darkness is worth $100 now. My copy of Eternal Darkness is legitimately complete in box. Like, it has the inserts from Nintendo Power and stuff like that still in there. And I showed off both Haunting Ground and Rule of Rose in a video. Haunting Ground, I have the case, but not the manual. And of course I have the game, but we've been over that part. But Rule of Rose, I have the case and the manual. And Rule of Rose is like $600 with the case and the manual, and just, that's disgusting. I bought that for $25 in like 2008, granted, but still, Jesus, why are these things so expensive and so hard to get? And of course, if you want to play it, God help you, and you want to do it in a legal manner, well, you're just kind of up shit creek, because then you're paying a price like that because it's not available on anything digital. Which, to be fair, that game doesn't play very well, so I would really just suggest just watching a long play on YouTube. But regardless of that point, you know, if you really wanted to, good luck. Oh yeah, we have no boots on right now, because the game is very inconsistent about when the charge boots automatically go on and not. Anyway, we gotta go over the top of this pile of boxes, but I did stop for the purposes of getting whatever was in those before. Alright, are we? Yeah, so this is the last thing we have to do. There's no crates to pick up. And it's just go into that garage, right? So they're giving us the easy one at the very end. Or an easy one at the very end, anyway. Alright, because I know that this guy, there's a money gate here. Don't be grossly.
Go ahead. You'd be doing me a favor. Sure.
Oh, sorry. It's just, I thought you were one of
Them. Dear, dear, what I'd give for even an ounce of their feral ignorance.
A burden often accompanies self-awareness, sir.
Living with the abject savagery of one's own kith and kin is quite more than one can bear sometimes. No, the torments of it all.
I understand. I, too, am of a series designed to destroy.
Oh, in that case, I have something that may interest you. But may I first humbly request a meager few bolts for food?
And eat the pipe, I guess. 40K! We can actually make this. I was worried.
Since I've eaten.
This is Darla Gratch reporting live from Algon City, where
Algon City, jeez. What a name.
Week in hypersleep, the Protopet is Megacorp's wildly popular bioengineered pet. Adorable, non-allergenic, and housebroken, fans of the creature have dubbed it the perfect companion. Between the Protopet's surprisingly low price tag and its lightning-fast breeding cycle, there may soon be more than enough Protopets for everyone. Darla Gratch, Channel 64 News.
I can't believe she's working in 2 galaxies at the same time, apparently. And still getting horribly murdered.
The entire population of that planet will be devoured.
unless we get there in time.
Yep, and we are almost dirt broke here. Jeez. Alright, back to the ship. At the very least, we should have enough to get our ammo. Whatever we need. Just be that, I guess. Wow, there were a lot of crates over there then. Huh. Alright, so let's do a little more. We're gonna have to deal with both of these planets basically at kind of the same time. So there's things that we get in Grelban, and then we go to Damosel and we get some other stuff there, and then we go back to Grelban. But I'm gonna go to Damosel and I'm going to open the pathways and everything and pick up the other piece of the Hypnomatic that is on this planet first. Just to mix things up a little bit compared to how I usually play the game. Plus, there's like actual challenges to do here, as opposed to on Grelban, where it's just get all the crystals. Oh boy, what a wonderful achievement, you know? And yeah, first things first, we're gonna do this grind rail section. Beating this is not hard, because we should be able to survive it fairly well. Wow, good work there, input to the right. However, getting through this without taking damage, now that is going to be the challenge. And yeah, see, especially when that happens. Although I guess if we get knocked off of the rings, maybe that won't... knocked off by the rings, pardon me. Maybe it won't be so bad. But yeah, it's a skill point for a reason. Because these things are usually some tight as hell assault courses. Hey, jump to the... Okay, so, the area to jump to the right there is very thin, I guess. Either that, or maybe it's just really having a bad time registering left and right inputs on the stick, which would not be so great. And yeah, you want to just bonk the proto-pets instead of trying to jump them, because they can hop. And they probably will if you attempt to do it. Besides, we all know how to mash the square button. To do our sort of two-swing partial combo here. Oh, I jumped way too early there. And by way too early, I mean just a little bit too early, but the space is pretty small. The space of time. It ain't a lot. Oh, I almost didn't see that one, even though it was there. I have clearly not memorized this course. Especially not that fast, that's for sure. But I almost never do anyway, so... I'm not great at memorizing things, honestly. Alright, we gotta dodge the rush hour train traffic here. I'm feeling pretty confident after that. Although you're going up on this curve, it can be real hard to see the little blue bastards. Especially if they're hopping in the process, because it's like, wow. We did it! That only took us like 3 tries. That's actually impressive.
Sorry.
Also, just a random shout out to Jack and Daxter for some reason. Jack and Daxter was a Naughty Dog thing. Enemies have massive domes. Yeah, big head mode for our enemies. Not really a new outfit for Ratchet as such, but okay, game. Alright. So before we start on the planet proper, if we go over here, this thing, we fight a flying saucer, I think, and it gives us the Map-O-Matic. which might have a different name in this game. And yeah, so it's got some sort of shield thing going on. Do we have to destroy all of its minions first? Or are they just the, like, the helicopters in the other thing? Oh no, we just have to wait for it to land and for it to lay some eggs. And by eggs, I mean flying saucer eggs. You know, flying saucers have eggs, right? Are we being attacked by Thugs for Less chopters here on the moon? I know these dudes are worth health. And yeah, there's no skill points for this one. This is just... just punch your way through everything. Well, in this case, I'm doing that anyway. Because it actually works pretty well. The other skill points here, safety deposit is to save everybody in the bank, which might be a little tough with our current gear, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. Oh, wow, that was some good damage from us landing on top of the mothership like that. If I can get a little bit more of a focus on where we're at here. Alright, so I guess just jump and shoot it with missiles. Try damage race it until we run out of shots. Okay, I'm out of some health there. Some missiles. We can't fire the bomb in midair, but we can fire it from up here, so there's that. Oh, don't stay in the death field for too long. Turn around, Clank, come on. Don't fuck this up at the last second. Come on, me. You can do better than that. Probably. Oh, God. Maybe we can't. We got some missiles. All right. Don't be pointing in the wrong direction like that. I didn't... Well, maybe I did turn the stick a little bit, but not on purpose. More by virtue of me not knowing what I'm doing. Which, you know, who would have guessed, right? Alright, give me some health. Missiles are what I need to be able to beat this, though, but the health is important, too. Hey! You jackasses! No! God damn it! We were so close. Jeez, that really chaps me. I died because I got shoved by one of their melee attacks that randomly decided to deal extra damage. That blows. Like, honestly, I think that's the first time I've been legitimately upset lately in this game. Because, come on! I had to hit it with, like, one more missile, and we would have been golden. But unfortunately, when you get hit by those things shoving attack, your camera turns 180 degrees. And that is actually the big killer, is not that you take the amount of damage you do or that you get knocked around. It's that your camera turns And so suddenly you got to rearrange half of your hand to be able to actually get back in the game in any real way. Get these things out of here. Really? Dickhead. God. Oh boy. These things are jerks. Like, they're not even... I don't even know that they're threatening. They're just rude. Alright, can we... I was trying to stomp it. And it was not interested in having that, I see. Also, yes, by the way, it is quite hard to get a good sense of where this thing is going, because it's fast when it wants to be. Then there's other times when it's just like, yeah, I'll take my time. I'll get there eventually. It probably actually goes in, like, a fairly set pattern, and I just don't know what it is. And there we got that again. Holy fuck. I'm gonna pause for a second. I gotta redo my chair. Alright. I'm gonna... No, if I exit the challenge, I'll have to go through the loading screen again. It would be faster just to actually get killed. Jump. Oh, I tried it again, but I didn't get away with it, as you can tell. Alright, so let's clear the area. I like the fact, by the way, that they're UFOs with legs. That is very silly. Also, I think this ruins our forward momentum. But... Alright, come on, settle down and start pooping out some more babby UFOs so that way I can give you the Goomba Stomp. Oh, am I gonna have to thin out their numbers a little bit first? Maybe it's not on... Yeah, I didn't think it was on a fixed pattern anyway. What am I talking about? Oh, does that not actually do any damage to it? And it was just a fluke that one time that I had hit it with something else, I guess? Well, that's a little disappointing, but now I know, I guess, and knowing is half the battle. Give or take. Rounding, etc. That's a thing you gotta worry about, is rounding. Alright, come on, you... Oh, stop that! Enough with the shove attacks, Jesus. And that one just came out of my periphery and just decided to steal my camera angle. Which, as I said before, that really is the long and short of what a lot of this is just that you get camera screwed constantly by a bunch of chicken walker UFOs. Which, of all things to be saying, right? Well, I guess flying saucer might technically be a better description, because... Is it really unidentified? Maybe it is. I don't know. Being shot a bunch from behind. I should probably turn around and deal with these guys. There we go. That's better. This thing do some weird movements. Maybe it'll end up closer to us. Probably not, but oh well. Alright, can you go into your... going into the town square here mode? Because I feel like it... Once it enters this, it has to just settle down on a specific fenced-in area. Just because the way it was shaped and all made it feel like that was the way it went. But maybe it's not. Who knows? We'll find out sooner rather than later. And by that, I mean, one of you will probably notice better than I will. Oh no, it's going behind the... Oh yeah, here comes the pain field. Oh boy. Alright. Get on the ground. Get out of the pain field again. Pick up our missiles. Get shoved. Because of course. Probably get... I was going to say get shot by the laser cannon, because, again, of course. Oh. Damn. Alright, so... Basically, yeah, I guess the pro tip here is never hit triangle, because it definitely seems like that is the most useless move in Clank's arsenal. No matter what we're doing here. Health. And we're out of rockets. Alright. Let's fix that. Oh, I hear the boys coming in. Don't you dare. We're far enough away that they're just a constant stream of these guys. Crap, that hurt. By the way, yeah, we are getting some damage in. It's just taking a bit. Shit. That wasn't great. Don't get hit. I said don't get hit. It would be a good idea if I could learn to take my own advice. Unfortunately, that's never going to happen. No, 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 no. Get out of the field of death. Oh, we got shot down. Dang it. Oh, this is so tough. I remember this being pretty hard, though. I just don't remember it being quite this hard, I guess. I don't remember these guys just annihilating your camera angle when they hit you. This is a big part. Clear the area a little bit here. Bridge. Honestly, jumping is not really a great idea when you're in the middle of a chase, because you lose your forward momentum pretty hard. And I need to clear the area a little bit here, which means I may as well start going around the other side. Ouch! That was a lot of damage I just took there. Like, a ridiculous amount, really. What the fuck? Why? Did I get tased by, like, 3 of them at once? And have no iframes? Which, I mean, yeah, by the way, Clank doesn't really have iframes. At least not in this. Oh, yeah, there we go. We get shoved off of it. All right. Turn around. Don't get pulled into the area. We've got enough health that I feel like I can get away with using those. As we're right down the bilge here. All right. Let's go get these. Alright, now we go back to here. And this is going to be our strategy now, is we're going to go down the middle of the bridges here. And we're going to just shoot this way. Because that should help us land hits, basically. Oh, I think we were just interrupted out of that. That's unfortunate. Alright, well, here's another spot between the bridges here. Go in between. Jump and shoot. And we should be able to land all these shots. Although, of course, it's going to take a long time for us to do that much damage. As you can see. Thankfully, going out to go resupply doesn't cause us to be considered far enough away for this jackass to start summoning more babies on us. Otherwise, that would just be the worst. Almost there. Can I have some missiles, please? No. However, if I go over here, I can. Whew, that was exhausting. But we got there in the end. I just had to rethink my strategy. This Clank's just squinting at it and like, eh. Oh god, sorry for the noises. I was drinking some water. So we've got ourselves the mapper or whatever it's called. Oh, it is called the mapper. Well, how about that? Isn't that a wonderful name for it? Well, it is descriptive, at least. We'll give it credit for that. Okay, so we've got the exterminator bots coming in to help deal with the amount of proto-pets, and by that I mean they're coming in to deal with us. We're trying to kill all the proto-pets. But yeah, the proto-pets are fairly squishy, and they pop out of various objects like this mailbox, like that drain in the middle of the street, that gigantic drain. So it's probably not a drain because that would be way too big for a drain. Oh, yeah, there we go. The shield charger is upgraded to the Tesla barrier. And look at that thing spew the chain lightning in areas around it. And I'm just whiffing all my plasma coil shots. I'm real bad at this, sorry. Alright, up the ladder we go. We're gonna complete the... We're gonna get to the end of this level, rather. We're not gonna complete it because we can't complete it yet. But we are gonna get to the end. And that's going to be the end of the stream after that. So this might be a pretty long one, actually, because there's plenty of ways we can get horribly moited here. And yeah, look, here they come. Nice. That takes out the mailboxes. And we're out of plasma coil shots. That's a little less nice, but what can you do? And maybe I should start using my equipment a little bit more intelligently here. Without just being like, oh, hey, what'll get me the most weapon experience that I need? I got other fish to fry. I'd say bigger, but I don't quite think that's the case. Where are you guys? Are they all just popping out of something, or are they... Well, you can see if they spawn more of themselves, by the way. If you see them, like, lean up and they just start vomiting out more proto-pets out of their mouths, which is really messed up. Alright, Tesla barrier on, heavy bouncer. Now is your time to shine, because we are out of mini rockets, we're out of plasma coils. Now we just call in the big boys. Did we get everything here? Oh yeah, there's a couple more of these dudes up there. And is this not an area where they spawn? No, it's another cereal aisle later on. Oh, no, it's here. Alright. Visit the downtown bank. Yeah, this is where we have to keep people safe, I think. Alright. Do we have a... Yeah, we got a megacorp right here. We can buy ammunition. If only we could just steal it. Because this company doesn't deserve our money. That's for sure. Not even in a video game. Pick up Helinoids, and up we go. Oh, I forgot to refuel my heavy bouncer. Oops. Okay, well, that immediately stirred something in my memory. That thing over there, which I will negotiate with in just a moment, the fountain there. There's something funny we can do with that, and I will show that off in just a moment after I'm done doing some crate crushing and killing everything in the rest of the room. Oh, hey, we managed to save everybody, I guess. Did we? Let's take a look. Nice Ride is for maxing out our ship. Weapon Envy is for unlocking all the weapons and maxing them out. Nano to the Max is for maxing out our health. And so, Be a Moonchild is for getting all those. Midtown Insanity. Safety Deposit is what this one was called. So, yeah. Save all the tourists in the bank. Well, we did it. How about that? Now, what immediately jarred my memory, shut up, I already have that, is this fountain right here. You can actually hit this with the Terminator. This is one of the handful of secrets that I remember, and it freezes over. And if you don't suck, which admittedly is a little tough, you plant your jumps right, there you go. Platinum Bolt. That's pretty great. And we just revisit the downtown bank, and away we go. Excuse me. Alright, let's resupply again. And yeah, get those too. Right. We've got exterminator bots all over the place here. Not a fan of that, but sometimes you gotta deal with things in life that suck. For example, that UFO fight. Jesus, that was nasty. I'm just gonna say it again because, like, wow. Also, now we've got the jerk-ass proto-pets blocking for the robots here. Alright. And there's a couple of these dudes up here. These are used for... I think we need to have the Hypnomatic to be able to possess those robots and use them in order to get a Platinum Bolt or something. Yeah, because those are, like, not worth anything, I don't think. Which is unfortunate that they're throwing out enemies that are not worth any experience or money at this point in the game, because, yeah, that's what we need. Alright, should be the mailbox is done. We just gotta kill the rest of the stragglers. Oh, we're out of ammunition. Well, that's unfortunate. Shields up. Tear through the last of these with the help of our shield. That thing stopped jostling, so I assume that means that we can go in there. Yes, it just opened. Yeah, this is the area that I was thinking of earlier, where we get the exterminator bots. No, we get the proto-pets popping out of the cereal. Pardon me. I mean, we do get the exterminator bots, but that's not what I was thinking of. So, whoopsie doodle. And yeah, we can just run through these aisles and clear these things out. Oh, what are you doing here, dude? Oh, they're flanking me now. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Another maximum nanotech up. Very nice. We're slowly getting closer to the maximum meter, which is 80 in this game. Again, kind of an odd place to leave it off, but that's alright. Oh, is this it? I could have sworn there was like another area to this, but I guess I was wrong. Oh, well, of course, there's another big fucking room full of these dudes. Can't forget about that. Alright, heavy bouncer. Do your magic. Alright, so that should be everything in this room. Terminator. Freeze the... I almost said freeze the ice. That would be really stupid, wouldn't it? If it's ice, it's already frozen. It's like all toasters toasting toast. Oh, hey, this guy's great.
Sleepy. Very sleepy.
You are getting very sleepy.
A customer. You, sir, look like someone who could use a hypnomanic.
Okay.
Just bring us the parts, and we'll make it for free.
For a fee. A very small fee.
I like how it's like a ventriloquist act, except it's the person is the dummy and the sock puppet is the one that's in command. That's pretty hilarious. Also, yeah, it's voiced such that the guy is James Arnold Taylor and the puppet is David Kaye. So it's like Ratchet and Clank physically, because it's the big guy is James Arnold Taylor and David Kaye is the little guy, but it's the opposite personalities basically and just the opposite energies. That's kind of cute. I love when games have good voice acting. I also love this game. It's mean. The voice acting in this game is fine. You know what? Let's do that. Do we have all of our barriers in place? Yeah, we should grab some more of those. We're gonna go start on Grelbin. And that will see us out for the night. And you'll see why that place sucks real fast. And then I'm gonna look at the sheer lack of platinum bolts that I have and be like, huh, where are any of these things in this game? Jeez. Alright, so let's take a look inside of this factory, and you'll see what is blocking us on the other half here. Is that we've got this other robot that we can control, and a death pit, and we are not getting across that gap. Like, we'll try it, but you'll see we cannot reach that. What are we going to need? The double helipack? No, it's the hypnomatic. We use it to possess that robot, or possibly that one over there, for other purposes. And you'll see what that's like sometime next stream. Speaking of which, let me equip these. Help me get around here a bit. Hey, nice ice fishing hole. Nice chair. Interesting. What's going on over here?
Oh, man. It won't budge.
Don't push in.
Violence is not the answer.
Can you move this rock, sir?
I am able.
And?
Patience, young one. For the rock to move, the forces of the universe must align.
So, can we make these forces align a little faster?
Ah, yes. The holistic resonance of moonstones may yet guide these wayward forces.
Yep, we gotta go find more crystals for the hippie again. Now, thankfully, I believe these bust open pretty fast. Yeah. So we need 8 to move the rock. And as you've probably guessed from how Tabora works... Oh, it's 9 we need to move the rock? Well, fuck me. I don't know how to count, I guess. So yeah, as you probably expect from Tabora, there's a bunch of these crystals scattered around, and several of them are contained inside of mini-bosses, which are way harder than they were on that planet. At the very least, they're stationary, but still... this is miserable. They decided to add this idea twice to the game. And yeah, there's 101 of these crystals across this entire frozen tundra. We don't even get the money from most of them yet again. And it's full of some of the meatiest enemies in the game. I mean, these things are tanky fuckers. Honestly, I probably should put the lock-on mod on the mini rocket just that way I can see what kind of max HP anything's at. Okay, it finally died. Oh, you can see it. This place is just kind of the worst. They decided, hey, you need a run of hard mode of the worst planet in the game. Insomniac are a bunch of assholes. And as you can see, we are taking quite a bit of damage. At the very least, us having the upgraded shield charger is going to make our lives significantly easier. However, just however, you know? I don't know what else to say after that. Other than, yeah, that's... I guess you might say that's cold comfort on this level. Alright. I'm going back for more ammunition, because... yeah, I'm not in a great place for that right now. Oh, by the way, there is a new set of armor on this level, but it costs 1 million bolts. Which is, like, the great punchline to the whole thing. On the other hand, we're not if we collect all the moonstones, we'll at least be in a reasonable place to get that. Yeah, okay, give him the 9 rocks.
Yes. Your arrival with the moonstones is most fortuitous, for it is in this very moment that I am able to move the rock.
It's a new bike from
What
Pokemon.
a coincidence.
Thank you, sir. That was most helpful.
Your gratitude is comforting, child. I have also found a piece of something called a hypnomatic. You may have it in exchange for more moonstones.
Wait, I thought you had no need for material possessions.
Please, do not lay your burdens upon me now. I am weary from lifting the rock, and I must rest.
Ah, yes, just like the Rajneesh movement. That's gonna sound real terrible to anybody who doesn't actually know what that is, I think, but... I would say look it up on YouTube, but it keeps getting deleted from YouTube because... It lives on, it's... huffing them. Grinding them up into a fine powder first, at least, I hope. But, basically what I just referred to is a cult from, like, the 70s, I want to say? And there was a video about it up on YouTube a couple years back by the guy, by the Down the Rabbit Hole channel, which is a pretty good channel, usually. Although, God, some of the stuff he has, I really wish he didn't have to research in some of the places that he did for some subjects, but I digress. So anyway, yeah, it keeps getting yanked from YouTube, not for your bog standard copyright complaints, but again, because the owners of this particular religious movement and their healing centers, because it's one of those kind of religious movements, keep pulling it down, basically on grounds that this entirely factual thing that you could research on your own is slander. Holy mother of mothers, that's a lot of these mothers. Get them out of here. That's a lot of Yetis. Anyway, Zoink Scoob, let's get out of here. Yeti Brothers, I don't even understand that reference, but I can only say probably not. Alright, let's restock everything, take stock of everything. And we're going to go into that basement over there. Oh, okay, gotcha. I don't know a lot about One Piece. I know it's very long. But hey, look, a glider section. Boy, oh boy, I'm so glad. I'm also real glad it took away my shield. Not that I would need it here, probably, because I don't think any of these falling spikes can actually hit you. It's just a matter of don't hit the big obvious rocks. I say as I almost ram straight into one. And then I do ram straight into one. But yeah, I think this is one of the easier glider segments, just one of the longer ones also. Also, don't fly too high. God knows you shouldn't do that. Don't get too close to the sun there, Daedalus. You're telling me you shouldn't be Icarus, and you're right. You're absolutely correct to say that. But I said the wrong thing, because I do that sometimes. Yikes! Whoa! Okay, that's a little That's a little harrowing. Oh, now this is getting a little tough. Oh, pfft. I mean, granted, some of the difficulty involved there is also because I am just not great at controlling the glider. I'll say it. I'm not good at this. And I don't really do a great job of, like, moving preemptively to ease things. So when I get to a place where I need to turn real fast, I am usually just rubbing up against it. Figuratively. Sometimes literally, too. But, like, I'm really cutting it close on a lot of that movement and just not necessarily doing the smart thing. Oh, wow. I did not mean to hit that. That's, oh boy. Yeah, that would definitely help out with a lot of things. There's a couple of levels in Sonic 06 that have some really weird stuff going on with them. Some of the levels that I remember the most in that game, there's the one in the pyramid where they want you to use Silver's powers to bounce around the number balls. And I remember seeing that and being like, oh my god, that is dog shit. Because, hey, it's 2006 physics gaming that's not Half-Life. And then there's the basically the equivalent of Cannon's Core at the end, the last level, that is all 5 characters. I think it's 5 characters. Basically, it's all the playable characters. And that's just kind of a... looks like kind of a hot mess, really. That, however, was not. Thank goodness. Alright. Now, plasma coil time. That's using some kind of stock sound effect that has been modified in some way a little bit. Like, it's hard to tell that it's been changed unless you're up really close, but it has like a layer of echo effect on top of it. But I've heard that in some pinball game. It might even have been 3D Space Cadet Pinball. Yeah, good point. Sonic is not playable at that point because Sonic's dead. Because Sonic 06 was, well, it was an early mid-2000s video game in a franchise that was aimed at young folks. So, you know what they were doing with that tonally, right? Wow, spoilers for Sonic 06! Here's a spoiler alert for you. It's a terrible game. Sorry. Anyway. Have I seen all of Silver's story? I have definitely seen all of Silver's story, but I don't remember most of it, so that's not necessarily all that helpful. Anyway, here we are at the back of the level? Yeah, I think so. Okay, yeah. So we can't get a preview of this right now. Let me turn off the tuxedo for a second. Yeah. All right. So you can see that this thing is pretty hardcore looking with all the steel and the red lines and everything. This thing looks like it can absorb 90% of damage dealt to it. But yeah, either way, yeah, there was that one level at the end of Sonic 06 where you've got to control basically everyone, and the mechanics are the mechanics are not good. We'll put it that way. Jeez, I'm screwing this up pretty badly because that's definitely. I think I. Jeez, what am I? Controlling this is kind of a pain in the butt. There we go. Yeah. Because you just don't have enough time to just do, like, D-pad inputs for it. However, that did open the back half of the level. And it opened the armor vendor for us that we can't afford. Har har. So I think that's a pretty good place to press save and go, wow, we spent $2,000 on ammunition. Jeez.